There are moments in life when everything feels like it's slipping through your hands. Not slowly, but all at once. Bills pile up. Doors start closing. People you thought would stay begin to leave. And suddenly, you're standing there, holding on to something fragile, wondering how much longer you can keep it from breaking. He was a father. Not a perfect man. Not a lucky one. Just a man, trying to hold his life together. Each morning, he put on a clean shirt, walked like he had a plan, spoke like he belonged. But behind that calm face was a storm no one could see. Because when the day ended, he didn't know where he and his son would sleep. Life didn't fall apart overnight. It cracked, slowly. A risky decision. A business that didn't work. Money that stopped coming in, but responsibilities that didn't stop growing. And the hardest part, it wasn't the failure. It was the silence that followed. No calls, no opportunities. No one reaching out, just doubt, getting louder every single day. And then one day, everything changed. Not in a big, dramatic way, but in a quiet moment that most people would ignore. He saw something. A man, stepping out of a luxury car, confident, calm, certain, not rushed, not worried. And for the first time in a long time, he asked himself a different question. Who is that? And how do I become that? That moment was the beginning of everything. Not success, not comfort, but a decision, a clear goal, not for himself alone, but for the small hand he held every day. I need to change my life for my child. The opportunity came, but it didn't come easy. No salary, no guarantees, just a chance. An internship, competing against people with better education, better connections, better everything. And yet, he said yes, because sometimes, when life gives you almost nothing, you take it anyway. Days became a test of endurance. He worked harder than anyone else in the room. Faster, sharper, hungrier. He made calls, chased leads, pushed himself beyond exhaustion. Because he knew something they didn't. This wasn't just about getting a job. This was survival. But the real battle started when the sun went down. Because when others went home, he started searching for a place to sleep, for a safe corner, for a way to protect his son from a world that didn't care. There were nights filled with uncertainty, nights where silence felt heavy, where fear crept in, and nights where the only thing he could offer his child was presence. He never told anyone, never complained, never showed weakness. Because in the morning, he had to become someone else again. Someone confident, someone capable, someone who belonged. Even when deep down, He felt like he was falling apart, and still he kept going. Not because it was easy, but because stopping wasn't an option. There were moments when everything almost collapsed, when exhaustion took over, when doubt got louder than hope, moments where quitting felt reasonable, where giving up felt justified. Because how long can someone keep fighting when nothing seems to change? But then, he would look at his son, and in that quiet moment, he found his answer. Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something, not even me. If you've got a dream, you've got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. If you want something, go get it. Period. Those words weren't just advice. They were survival. They were belief in its purest form. So he kept going. One more call. One more step. One more day. Not knowing if it would be enough, but hoping that it would. And then one day, the call came. Simple. Short. Almost ordinary. But to him, it meant everything. He made it. Not overnight. Not by luck. But by refusing to stop. No dramatic celebration, no sudden transformation, just a quiet moment where everything finally made sense. Because success isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just the absence of fear. His life didn't become perfect, but it became stable. It became his, built from nothing but persistence, sacrifice, and belief. And maybe that's what makes this story powerful. Not the ending, but the journey. The nights no one saw, the pain no one heard, the fight no one applauded. Because somewhere out there, someone is struggling right now, feeling lost, fallen behind, questioning everything. And maybe this isn't just his story. Maybe it's a reminder that even when life gives you nothing, you can still choose to keep going. And sometimes that choice changes everything.